We are putting down roots this morning, also known as we are starting to plant the base plants, the woody ones and the bushes for my food forest. My name's Linda and this is my fantasy homestead, and you coming along. You have no choice because it's gonna rain in 3 hours. We have 3 hours to plant it all. I think we're gonna start with getting all of the pots together in the area where I need to do it, where I'm gonna put the food forest in. And then we're gonna distribute them as it should go. Ooh. Now you know the structure of this place a little bit. Here we go. This is the strip that we cleared before, and we're gonna plant in it now. I was trying to mulch some of the bits here on the patio area. It's too wet. It clogged my mulch up. I have my plan. I've been drawing this up. I'm very eager about this. Super happy. I think we're gonna start from the far end where the badger lives and move this way, and I'm just gonna pop everything that needs to go where in. Okay. All of the ground is very flat except for that little bit there, this round bit, which is a fire pit. These are all of the things that you can see on the top of the surface, all of the bits and rubbish that have been disposed here, maybe to wait to be burnt later on. I have no idea. But now they are just incorporated within the soil, within the moss. I keep taking a bucket with me every time I go in the garden and picking up junk. Some of my trees are already budding. Like for example, the jostaberry is about to bud, and it needs to be in the soil. And this is one of my, I think this is the cherry, and then the pear is behind it. They need to go in the ground as well. I have honeyberries. They've been on this soil all winter and all last summer, so I expect that they have grown roots into it, and I will need to peel it off. My poor trees, they've been suffering so much, but today we are getting them in the soil. I have had these poor little trees in these pots for 4 years now. I bought them as bare rootstock and popped them in because they are dwarf. They should have been fine in the pots, but each year they have tried to climb out. They are trying to grow into the soil. So I feel really bad about my trees and my bushes because I feel like I'm torturing them every year that they are not in the soil. Do you see any roots? I can't see the roots. Can you see the roots? It probably has roots. And I'm super happy about this trolley. Like, seriously, I bought it second hand for £70 and it is a lifesaver. I have used it so many times around this area, around this property, and it is so good. If you look at the trees, you can see that they have two main branches. It is because each of these varieties is grafted, so there's two different varieties on one rootstock. So I have 2 cherries on one roots and then 2 pears on the other, like Conference and Concord. I had a plum as well, but unfortunately last summer it didn't survive. So the heat and being in a pot and confined was just too much of a stress, and unfortunately it died. I'm sad about that because I would really love a plum. So what we have thus far is quinces from Latvia, and they are different quinces than the ones you used to. These are bushes. They produce the most delicious fruit that are not edible raw, but it makes the best dessert thing. There's my pear. Then this is a plum that I started from seed, and if you can see, it's purple. The stem's purple and the branches are purple and the leaves are purple. And then its sister is a blue one, and it's spikier. It definitely has spikes, So there is a different kind of mutations happening. I have my red currants, my pears, and yeah, this is the first lot, and some of the gooseberries as well. And we shall go, okay? See you on the opposite side. I need to run with the camera now to be in front of you as I come through. First idea is I'm just gonna put the pots where I need to put the plants in, and by the plan. I know it's not pretty, I still haven't taken out the fence. I physically don't have enough time to come out here and do this stuff because I'm working full time, and then most of the evenings when I finish work it's dark, it's after 5, and I just can't do this. And then on the weekends it's raining. Today it's gonna start raining in 3 hours, so I'm trying to do this before it rains. Besides, the rain will help me as well because it will water my plants in. Yeah. So sorry if I'm talking really strangely. My wisdom tooth has decided to grow and it is really, really painful. On opposite side, I actually had a toffee yesterday and I cracked my tooth. So eating at the moment is very fun. Let's put the trees down, okay? And the bushes. I thought I had a lot of plants, but it turns out no, for this strip it doesn't look like I have any plants at all. I have put them where they should be by the plan. I have planned it so that when they are grown they take this much space, so I have already allocated them the grown-up space, and then the gaps we can just fill with little perennials or strawberries or things like that that grow underneath and cover it up. I do want to mulch all of this and cardboard it. I am not really sure, not about this mound, but do you see there? There's a little like a mound thing. I looked at Google Maps and it looks like there has been a fire pit. I need to put some gooseberries in there. I don't know how that's gonna go if I keep digging down. Do I just dig it flat and then put gooseberries in? Or do I just dig them in and then eventually they will be way above the level? I don't know. My throat really hurts because of the wisdom tooth. I cannot really speak much. But let's start digging. This is the fun part. Start with the badger mound and then move on this way. Yeah. I think it's gonna be good. Hopefully it doesn't rain until I end. I need to finish today. Yeah. It turns out I filmed this in a super slow speed. So my camera has 3 settings. It has pictures and it has normal video and then it has slow motion as well. But the slow motion doesn't do any sound. I think I accidentally pressed the slow motion capture and this was very, very slow. I had to increase the video speed by 6 times, so 600% increase just to look like I'm actually doing something instead of being in a very slow motion. The soil actually in here is amazing. I was super impressed of how easy it was to dig anything. All of the holes went in super fast. I expected to be digging for like 2-3 hours, but I think I was done within an hour. I had planted everything, which is super impressive. So the plums are going here in the furthest part of the garden away from everyone else, and these are the plums that I seeded myself, and I have no idea if they're gonna come through to seed, if they are Mirabelle plums that I collected the seeds from. But if they don't produce anything edible, at least in a couple of years I can use them as a rootstock, and I can graft other plants, other plums on it, and that should be very, very easy and a really cool project to do as well. Because in my house in Latvia, my mum has grafted all of our apple trees. So you would have a normal apple tree, and then she would graft 2 or 3 varieties of other apple trees on it. So we had this massive Antonovka tree. It's an apple, it's green, and it produces fruits, well, apples at the end of the year, and they are cooking apples, similar to Granny Smith, and they're very, very sour. And then she put a red dessert apple on it and a yellow golden apple on it as well. I don't know the names of them, but they produce in different times. So you would have this round tree with one branch red very early, one golden branch, and then the rest of the tree was cooking green apples. It just looks so amazing. I definitely want to do that with my garden too. I think it's such a good use of space. If you have a single tree, just have each branch have something else. You can see how deep I have dug this pit for the rhubarb. So rhubarb pot was like 40-50 centimeters deep hole, and I still have not reached the bottom of the garden soil layer. I know that there's red clay around and should be underneath, but I have not found it yet. So I probably need to dig deeper to find the clay. How long does it take for such an organic layer to grow? I have no idea. But I feel like this garden has been gardened for centuries, and just compost added and manure added on top each time and each year. And I am so privileged to feel that I will be adding to it as well in my own way, with no dig, because I do not want to dig this place. It's so fluffy, the soil is so cool. I read somewhere that basically you don't do gardening. What you do is actually you garden the soil, and then the soil takes care of your plants. And I completely agree with that kind of philosophy, because if the soil's good, your plants will be great. To save space, when I was ready to move my plants out of my previous garden, I popped some tulips down with the roots of this cherry tree, and they're not doing great, by the way. The tulips are not doing great. They haven't flowered, they haven't done anything at all. I think I will dig them up from around this tree when they finish growing and they go to sleep. I'll dig them out and I'll pop them somewhere else, because I think they are competing with each other and they don't like it. I was trying to arrange the tree as well, that each of the branch would not sit parallel and eventually go onto the path that will go on the left side of the tree, as you can see. And then I am now planting my jostaberry that almost died 2 years ago, because I had slug problem in my previous garden. And as it was starting to bud, the slugs found it and they ate all of the buds off of the jostaberry. If you haven't heard before, jostaberry is a cross between blackcurrant and gooseberry. And apparently it's very tasty. It has never produced for me because it's always been too stressed. So hopefully this year, if I don't get any fruits, I expect to get some fruits next year from things. Because I think that this year they're gonna spend most of their time in just putting roots in. I still have a tree to basically de-ivify. Ivify, is that a word? It's a word now. We have a tree that we need to de-ivify on the right there from me, and that is probably one of the damsons in there, somewhere deep inside of it, or bullaces. I have been researching about which kind of plum I could have had, and it's either bullas or plum, or damson. Yeah, that's the one. So much work, not enough time. Seriously, I really want to get it all done this year. I know it's a very lofty plan, but hopefully we can achieve it together. Well, at least some of it. I still haven't seen the badger. I might need to get a wildlife camera for that. I have plugged in some elder into the hedge here. As you can see, the red strings are there, so I don't lose it during the summer. And I will see if it's rooted or not, but apparently it's very easy to propagate elder. You just shove it in the ground in the winter, like cut branches, and it should root and grow. Let's see if it works, okay? All of these little holes here are signs that the badger is actually feeding in the garden, and then over the fence it is his latrine. And as you can see, the soil is a lot redder than in my garden. So yeah, I think I have very old garden. We have planted everything. It doesn't look like much now, but when the summer comes, it's just gonna look so good. I am so excited. I even managed to get my rhubarb in here, which is amazing. So we have quinces, we have the rhubarb, we have the 2 plums, then we have the dwarf trees, then we have more quinces, honeyberries, gooseberries, currants, red currants. I will have to deal with this next because it's just a mess, and I know that there is a fire pit underneath. And then that mound there is a fire pit as well. I dug into it a little bit. Let me show you what I found. It is insane how much stuff keeps coming out. There's everything. I found hinges. Have I told you that I really like walking with bare feet in the summers and in the winters as well, but it's too cold to do that, unfortunately. But unfortunately, I think it's gonna be a no-go zone for this garden to walk in bare feet with, because of the amount of glass that I keep finding everywhere. I do not want to step on any of this without shoes. I have very little mulch at the moment because that's the little pile that I had before my little like hand wood chipper died. So I will need to get something bigger maybe. Some of you, my friends, suggested in the comments that I could potentially get like a help me out fund, but I feel so guilty about that, and taking money from people is very uncomfortable for me. But I will see what I can do. At the moment the plan is for the smaller bushes, so that I don't lose them during the summer or trim them down accidentally, I'll put the cardboard around the base and then put the mulch around it so that I can actually see where they were and where they are, and then the grasses don't outcompete the little bushes that I have. For example, honeyberries look very tiny when you have put them in the ground, because in a pot the pot adds the height as well. But hopefully this summer they will have a better time. Last summer they really struggled. I was watering them twice a day and during the heat wave, and they were almost dying. The leaves would just go droopy, and then you water them, they would get up and then droopy. They didn't produce any fruit for me, anything at all, because I think most of the strength that they used was to survive. So hopefully now they can live. I can't believe that the soil is still so fluffy and so crumbly, considering that it's been raining for the 2 weeks prior, and everywhere else it's waterlogged and there's standing water in places, yet here nothing. Does that bode well for like heat waves? Because in the heat waves, would this just dry out too fast and it won't hold the moisture, or would it hold the moisture? Don't know. The noise from the road is one of the reasons why I'm putting this food forest system in here, because the more bushes and the trees I have here, the less sound will actually permeate this way, right? Yeah. And basically I can't be dealing with this ivy, and I want to keep the hedge, so all of this is going to be berry bushes and things like that. I'm so excited about that. And chives on the bottom and strawberries on the bottom. It's definitely started to rain and I need to go out, so we are gonna finish it here. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye friends. It is raining. Okay, I'm gonna go and save my plan because it is in the book.